Welcome to my program, Bashy's Corner. As usual, I would like to say that we take the issues which mainstream media does not want, doesn't bother, or even don't care, but we do. Denmark is a land of initiatives, may it be cultural, musical festivals, art exhibitions, or simply installations by artists. Many photographers, artists, and painters exhibit their works in different places as private initiatives, but also Danish government and many municipalities also help the artist. I visited one such initiative in April 2017. Its title, 100% Strangers, and then a question mark that really made me very inquisitive. And I went around and looked at the exhibition. It was amazingly beautiful. So, and I also met the person who is behind this exhibition or this initiative. And so I asked her to come to my program, and she was gracious enough to say yes. So welcome to my program, Maja.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Before we talk about the exhibition, because it's a huge topic, let me ask you about you, the person behind the exhibition, and a little bit your background. You studied photography,
yes,
and later culture and media production. These are three different issues in my eyes. You know, how do you combine them?
Yeah. I actually also have a bachelor in art history.
Fantastic.
And those three studies combine very well because they are about visual culture and arts and storytelling, but they're also about like how we can challenge the stories that society keeps telling or even reproducing. So yeah, and then they are about like social art practices, how social art can intervene in society and open up for different people to meet, or just make more nuanced, get more nuances into these different themes.
Okay, as I understand, you studied both in Denmark and in Sweden. How would you describe the national and cultural approach in both these countries? Because they are similar, but they're very different.
Yeah, well, I think it's a huge topic.
Yes,
it has many aspects. But I mean, in general, I think Sweden tends to prioritize arts a bit more.
Okay.
Like both economically, but also like as an integrated part of society, where they start at school level. Like, what do you call it? Primary school.
Yes.
Right. Folkeskole in Danish. Yeah. Where it's a more obligatory, like a lot of schools have this thing where you have to learn to play an instrument and understand the whole musical genre, and not just do the klokkespil as we do in Denmark and the flute. You know, it's more like a holistic approach from the early years. So I think you get a broader perspective early on, which I really like. Because for people to grow up and appreciate the value, you have to kind of get it in with your mother milk.
True. But then, can we say safely that Swedes are more cultured than we are?
No, I don't think you can say. I mean, I don't like to make those.
Yeah.
But I think there is another, and partly because of the educational system. Also at university level, you tend to get out more on your master's degree and work closely with the corporate world even, or institutions or whatever. So you don't stay
in the same place
inside of the four walls as much.
No, that's what I meant. I don't mean they are more cultured, but they maybe think more futuristic, you know, how to educate their children, how to bring them up, you know, so they can be good citizens.
Yeah. That's another place, I think, in society. Yeah.
Exactly. I also like Sweden very much, and Denmark. As a photographer, you must have exhibited your own work before as a photos, you know. Can you tell us a little bit about the kind of pictures you take?
Yeah.
What you are specialized in?
Well, it's often a collaboration first with institutions to find topics that are maybe hidden in society, or should be lit in another way, or problematic somehow. And then after that, of course, it's very much about cooperating with the participants, as I call them, the people who are actually getting photographed.
The models are, you know.
The models.
Okay.
So, and that's like an approach that I really like a lot, and I think we're seeing it a bit more as well in photojournalist approaches in general, but that you do the interview, the conversation.
You talk to them first before you take pictures.
Yeah, sure. And then it's often about like not sensations, but ordinary people living ordinary lives, and then staging their stories, their life stories, or personal stories, or personal take on a certain subject.
You also use humor in the taking pictures?
Yes, I do that a lot. It's it has all the spectrum of the kind of human life, so it's from sad to angry to very humoristic as well.
Because one of my friend who is from Pakistan, who you photographed, he's a butcher, and the pictures you took, you know, his wife is in the window with the chicken in her hand, and him is in some kind of other meat, you know.
Carrying his big lamb?
Lamb chop,
Chop, I think it is,
in Denmark, is it possible to make a decent living being a photographer?
It depends how you work with photography as a media, I think. Like for a lot of photographies first who are depending on it as a living, as an income, you have to be very flexible in today's market, and so you can't just rely on being a photojournalist, but you have to also include maybe the corporate world, working to communicate for virksomheder.
Everything is money.
Okay. But also do commercial work.
Yes. Coming back to the exhibition you made, it's called 100% Strangers, as I understand.
Question mark.
Yeah.
It sounds
it
not
sounds
so great
strange
when
in
you
Danish,
say it, but it looks nice in writing. And
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And also you have put a question mark afterward. What does this question mark tells us?
Yeah, well, I guess it's both a mirror and a question.
Yes.
So it's mirroring this debate about Danishness and foreignness that tends to be
in the society.
That we see in the media a lot now. For a long time, but especially maybe these 2 years going back when the refugee crisis started. So it's mirroring that because it tends to really simplify what nationality can be or mean, and simplifying identity in that way too. But it's also a real question in the exhibition where we asked all the participants with a bit of a glimpse in the eye, but because we thought that it was time to ask the people in question
if they feel strangers.
Or like about this topic, you know. In general, it opens up to this, like, let's hear from them, what do they think about this whole debate that's running up here, and there are actually now 100 people who are the representation.
I understand that people you interviewed, they come from 29 different countries, and there were about 100 people from different ages. When you asked them this question about being stranger, 100% stranger, what did they say to you? Not all of them, but what was the common answer?
The beautiful story about doing this as a bit of not a provocation, but a very concrete thing to ask. You represent these 100 people that came from all these countries. Now we ask you this question, but they really tend to answer in very more like expressionistic terms, almost like what is it to be a stranger as a person in the world today, and it has a lot more to do with family relations. Being a young child, but all of a sudden becoming a parent to your parents because you learn the language faster and so on, and vice versa for the parents. And
there is
and all these different and
there's so much diversity among them.
And they are all very different, of course, as 100 people would be.
How did you come up with this project, or this initiative?
I have to say, because we actually started out with this method. and I have to just fastly say what that is, I think.
Please.
So it's some symbiosis between statistics and demographics, and personal stories, like people behind the numbers, and and putting the people in front of the numbers. And we did that first in 2013, where with me working for Copenhagen International Theatre, who produces a festival each year called Metropolis, presenting art and performance in the city space. But we invited a group called Rimini Protocol, who works with documentary theatre. So it's their concept to invite 100 people who represent the population of Copenhagen statistically. So they were chosen from 7 different criteria, such as sex and age, and where do you live in Copenhagen, your socio-economic status, and family composition, so on and so forth. And then they were also chosen to represent different types in society. So that it started there, actually, with this. It was a theatre or performance act in the Royal Theatre, and then it became an exhibition in the Museum of Copenhagen. And then we thought for this, to have this great method of large-scale storytelling would be wonderful to introduce into this topic of refugees. But also just creating a platform for the people we are actually discussing to tell their own stories.
So I also noticed that all of them, they have a refugee background. Most, all of them actually. So why to focus only on refugees?
I mean, of course we discussed it in the beginning because we could have also included immigrants at large. Of course, that would also have been great. But a few things, like the first one being that immigrants are also, of course, you have the Turkey is the first one, but then you have Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Germany, and then so it's a mix, and it's a mix that where we often hear maybe more from these bigger groups, and we wanted to also focus down on the smaller groups that you never hear from, but also feels very much a part of this discussion. So we made it so that these 29 different countries that are represented in this project, they are all 1% of these 161,000 people who came as refugees to Denmark. And so we took up some of the nationalities that only represent 0.78 or 9%. They came up to 1, and then we took Iraq, for example, who's the biggest one, down a little bit to actually include some of the really small countries statistically.
When it comes to making such a big initiative, it costs a lot of money. Right? Did you get some support?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got support from Sportsgodsfonden.
From funds, different funds?
Knud Højgaards Fund and the Intercultural Center, Copenhagen Municipality, and then the theatre also used some of their resources.
When you walk around and see those huge pictures and beautiful colors and very nice quality,
thank you.
You were the photographer?
Yes.
Wow.
But
No, it's amazing. I am myself a amateur photographer. When I look at those pictures, and I thought, it must be an amazing person who took this picture. So then comes the question, as I also asked before, how did you select the ethnic groups in them? So as I also said, it departed from statistics, but then for this time around we had a few fewer criteria to depart from, because we didn't do as much statistic on this group as the ethnic Danes or so before 84. We don't find a lot of statistics, but we went into the office at. No, what I meant is persons, not so much groups. But because you are people from different backgrounds among different groups. So how did you choose individuals?
Ah, okay. Within those
within
groups,
the groups,
huh? Yeah. Okay, so that was a big work actually, and the serious work, because of course the criticism here could be that it's how is this represented, or it's like it's 100 people. It's pretty good for an art project, very. But it's still So we really made a point out of saying, okay, we have like 14% are from Iraq. But within that group, we really have to get the royalists and the communists and the nationalists and the...
So also political criteria.
Yeah. Social, political, work-wise also try to really...
I thought it was their personalities you was the criteria.
No, not only. But we knew, it's a longer story actually, but we really tried to nuance the picture as much as
No, there was amazing. Some of the pictures we are using as a background material for this interview, and they are fabulous. But then the question comes, why to pick Copenhagen City Hall for this exhibition?
Yeah. Well,
because refugees are all over.
Yeah, sure. It's a very democratic space, of course, and it's also a political space.
And huge.
That's a really practical but really good point as well.
Yeah.
And opposite to that you have Tivoli, where they're all photographed, which is a more fictional world. But as institution space, a place in Copenhagen that's always represented. The foreign and the Danish and the world outside and the political reality. So these two spaces are, they're playing together in this way.
Of course, such a big exhibition one person cannot make. So did you have a team of people?
Yeah, sure. We had Trevor Davis from Copenhagen International Theatre was leading it with me, and then we had two women, Sisse, Nat George, and Mette. I just forgot her last name, I realized. But they were doing the interviews and going out, talking to all these people, finding them as well. And then we had Ariane, who is a philosopher, writing text about all the countries and their history and so on. So we had different people working on it, but like 4 to 5.
The reason why I asked, because somebody called me and said, do you know any refugee among Pakistanis? I said, many. So it was... you have also, in the exhibition, produced these small postcards of all of them and then put them for exhibition. Was it the idea that people can take it with them when they go and, and have this spirit of the exhibition with them?
Yeah, I mean it's also a way, like, because you really connect to some of the stories, because you have 100 and they're personal, so it's really one-to-one, something you'll really
click.
And to kind of so a lot of people have been asking about the book, a catalog, something. So you want to bring it with you because
the book is heavy.
It's not going to be that size, but so it is a possibility to take a few stories with you to just prolong that experience and remember.
Are you going to make a book also? I know it's very heavy.
Hopefully,
Hopefully, not the big one, but the smaller one.
Smaller version, We're looking into that.
Okay. Were there people you contacted and they say, no, we don't want to be part of this?
Yes.
There must be some.
Yes, because it is, of course, like a huge political debate, and that's also problematic in a way, because this is not first of all, or maybe at all, I don't know, but I don't like to discuss that so much, because it's not primarily a political project. It's a project about collecting these stories of the people who are not yet a part of the official storytelling. They're not in any archives yet, and so on. So this is really like a...
What was the biggest reason for if people didn't want to be part of that?
Yeah, well, it's because, of course, they feel that once you step into that scene...
limelight,
Yeah, you might get used as an example in a political debate. So you expose yourself to all of that once you step into this theme of immigration, refugees, Danishness, foreignness, whatever. So you really put yourself
out. And also some of the asylum seekers and refugees don't want that their governments or the countries they ran away, they keep an eye on them.
There's all sorts of issues there,
Okay. As I said before, the exhibition is great. What was the public response?
Yeah, it's been, I mean, because it is this one-to-one scale, like, it's been really great actually. It was with the Copenhagen one as well, but it's just that, you know, when people are giving so much of their self, not in like on a personal and very honest level, I think people tend to just respect that, and it is missing, and people are realizing that. So I think there's nothing really to discuss other than that. It's just it's a good thing to do.
About politicians, because many politicians like to dehumanize refugees, but you try to humanize them.
Yeah.
What was their response? Did you get any response from political elite in Denmark?
Well, I think, I mean, again, I think that no matter what political party or belonging to or whatever, it's not about, I mean, everyone should be interested in these stories.
That's what I meant, you know, they should have come and look at these people they talk about.
Sure, and a lot of them like did, because they went through the city hall, had meetings and so on, you know, so they just...
That's also a good reason, because they go to city hall for meetings. Yes. How about outreach to schools? Because school children really love that. When I was there was a lot of school children. Did you contacted them also? Yeah.
Now we're bringing it on a tour.
Okay.
Where we had also some support from the municipality to do school educational work while the exhibition is up in these different localities. So we're going to do that first with 40-50 school classes in the these following 5 months. Yeah.
The reason why I asked about students is because many students from minorities, you know, they're grown up here, they speak the language, they want to feel part of the society.
Yes.
And when they see their elders, or you know, they say, "Wow," you know, and you know, I think it will be a positive effect on them.
Yeah. It's important to be able to see yourself in the stories that we tell and show as a society. Exactly. So it has an enormous effect. You see that right away.
And you're going to take it to different cities?
Yeah, hopefully. That's also like work in progress. And, but yes, we have a plan to do that like in 2018 to get it to both Fyn and Jutland.
Would it be shown again in Copenhagen?
In Copenhagen, yes, at Amager. Kulturpunkt. Yes. And Nørrebro, the red spot, plads, den røde plads.
Okay, now it has been a success. So would it be now a permanent exhibition, because it'd be a great waste of resources and the photos you took to just put them in a cellar? So would you put it like somewhere in a museum or somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, we have this, the National, not the National Archive, the City Archive.
City Archive.
Yes, they're gonna take in all the stories.
Copenhagen City Archive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and make them part of their personal gathering personal stories initiative. This
But I can suggest you some other place you can put the exhibition. In Forum they have a migrant forum.
Yes.
Even it's called Migrant Forum, but they also have things from different groups, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a permanent exhibition. They have a huge place. Why not exhibit there, so when people come and see there, they can also see that part, you know.
It's a really good idea, actually.
And they're looking for always for good stories, you know.
Sure.
That was the exhibition, successful exhibition. What are your own personal future plans as a photographer?
I actually, when you asked me if I was okay with the question, that's maybe the one that I'm
You're shy to answer.
No, I'm just not exactly ready to pronounce and still in between, but also very much focused on getting this one out, because it's been such a huge work. So I'm gonna be a bit of a producer on it too now.
Okay.
So I have plans, but not concrete enough to sit
fine. You're a photographer, producer, and you exhibit a lot of things. So it means you keep an eye on the society.
Yes.
Otherwise, you won't be able to do that.
No.
Hand on your heart. What is happening in the society? All these debates and discussion, politics. Do you think we are going in the wrong direction? Straightforward.
Yeah. Well, I think it links into what I said before. I think it's saying something, maybe a lot, that doing this exhibition, I know that the title can be a bit, maybe evoke some political feelings, or but the actual thing that it is just including these people in the national storytelling, and that point alone, that it has met a lot of kind of restraints from some places to consider it, because they're afraid of vandalism and so on, but also their own image, and I think that's saying a lot maybe about the times that we're living in, you know, because these 100 people are as political diverse as you and me. So it's yeah.
But Maja, I'm sure. I mean, you are very diplomatic, you know?
Yeah.
But that this exhibition, the reasons, the photos, I'm sure that it will send a very positive message to Danish people.
Yes.
And thank you very much for coming to my program.
Thank you so much for having me.
And to my viewers, please go and look at this fantastic exhibition. It is in Town Hall for the coming July month. Yeah. And you will be really happy, and then you will see that no matter what color, what religion, what culture a person comes from, you are part of Denmark. Until next time, take good care of yourself.